I never thought I'd be the type of woman who snoops through her husband's car. Yet here I was, rubber gloves on my hands, searching under the seats of Grant's pristine BMW while he was at the station doing his weekend weather segment. My name is Mallory, and until this morning, I was living what I thought was a perfectly normal life. 26 years of marriage, 2 kids, and a husband whose biggest crime was leaving wet towels on the bathroom floor. At least, that's what I believed until I found that handkerchief. It was tucked between the passenger seat and center console, white silk with a perfect crimson lip print in the corner. The kind of lipstick I haven't worn in years. The kind Grant always said was too bold for a weatherman's wife. "Mom?" Olivia's voice made me jump, the handkerchief falling from my trembling fingers. "What are you doing?" I straightened up, trying to look casual as my 19-year-old daughter peered into the garage. "Just giving Dad's car a deep clean before winter sets in." The lie tasted bitter on my tongue. "In your pajamas?" She raised an eyebrow, looking so much like her father it made my chest ache. "At 7 in the morning?" "Couldn't sleep." I shrugged, picking up the handkerchief and stuffing it into my pocket. Thought I'd make myself useful. Olivia lingered in the doorway, fiddling with her phone. "Dad's segment was great this morning. Did you see how many comments his forecast got on Instagram? The station manager says his ratings are higher than ever." "That's wonderful, honey." I forced a smile, remembering how Grant had been working late more often lately, citing special projects with the new media consultant. "What was her name?" "Vanessa something." "He's taking me to lunch at LeBlanc today," Olivia continued, beaming. "Says he wants to introduce me to some important people from the station. Maybe talk about that summer internship." My stomach churned. LeBlanc was where Grant and I had our first date, back when he was just starting out and I was finishing veterinary school. Before I put my dreams on hold to support his career, to raise our family. "That's nice," I managed. "What time?" "Noon." "Why?" "No reason." I pulled off the rubber gloves. "Just curious." Olivia's phone buzzed. Her face lit up as she read the message. "Dad says he's wrapped early. He's picking me up in an hour instead." She practically bounced out of the garage, leaving me alone with my thoughts and that damning handkerchief. I pulled it out, studying the lipstick stain again. The mark was fresh, couldn't be more than a day old. Grant had taken the car yesterday to meet with the station's marketing team. A 4-hour meeting that he'd come home from smelling like expensive perfume. My phone lit up with a text from our son, Ethan. "Mom, you okay? Liv just posted about lunch with Dad. Thought that was your anniversary tradition." I stared at the message, realization hitting me like a physical blow. Today was October 15th. Our anniversary. And Grant was taking our daughter to our restaurant to meet important people. The garage suddenly felt too small, too suffocating. I walked into the kitchen, handkerchief still clutched in my fist, and opened my laptop. A quick search brought up the station's website, and there she was, Vanessa Bryant, media relations consultant. Dark hair, red lips, and a smile that could cut glass. I closed the laptop and reached for my phone, hands steady despite the storm brewing inside me. I opened my contacts and scrolled to a number I'd saved years ago, but never thought I'd use, Sam Porter, private investigator. A friend of Ethan's had recommended him, just in case. Well, just in case had arrived. As I hit dial, I caught my reflection in the window. For the first time in years, I really saw myself, not just Grant Green's wife or Olivia and Ethan's mother, but Mallory. And Mallory had some decisions to make. Sam Porter's office wasn't what I expected. No frosted glass door with his name stenciled on it, no cigarette smoke hanging in the air. Just a modern co-working space downtown with potted plants and people typing on laptops. He looked more like an accountant than a private investigator, which I supposed was the point. "Mrs. Green," he said, gesturing to a chair. "Your son Ethan spoke highly of you." I clutched my purse, the handkerchief burning a hole in its side pocket. "You know Ethan?" Helped him vet some investors for his startup last year. Sam's eyes were kind but shrewd. "He mentioned you might need my services someday. Though I suspect he wasn't expecting it to be about his father." My phone buzzed, another text from Olivia. "OMG, Mom. You'll never believe who was at lunch. Vanessa Bryant. She's literally everything. Dad says she might mentor me. I showed Sam the text, along with the photo Olivia had attached. There they were at LeBlanc, Grant, Olivia, and Vanessa, all raising their glasses to the camera. Grant's hand rested just below Vanessa's shoulder, casual enough to seem innocent, intimate enough to make me sick. Our anniversary lunch spot, I said quietly. 26 years of memories, and he takes them there. Sam studied the photo. How long has Miss Bryant been working at the station? 6 months. Since the new station manager started pushing for younger viewers. I pulled out the handkerchief. Found this in Grant's car this morning. The lipstick matches what she's wearing in that photo. Before Sam could respond, my phone rang. Grant's face filled the screen. Take it, Sam said. Act normal. I'll step out. I answered, trying to keep my voice steady. Hi, honey. Mal, you'll never guess who we ran into at lunch. Grant's voice was too bright, too rehearsed. Vanessa Bryant, you remember, from the station? She had the most incredible idea for Olivia's future. In the background, I could hear Olivia's excited chatter and another woman's laugh, rich, confident, everything I used to be. That's wonderful, I managed. How was the anniversary lunch tradition with our daughter? A pause. Oh, Mal. I completely forgot. With everything at the station. It's fine. I cut him off, 26 years of suppressed dreams suddenly rising in my throat. Actually, it's perfect timing. I've been thinking about going back to school, finishing my vet degree. The background noise stopped. What? Mallory, we talked about this. The hours, the commitment. It's not practical at your age. My age? I watched Sam through the glass wall, pretending to take a call while obviously listening. I'm 47, not dead. You know what I mean. Grant's voice took on that patronizing tone he used for difficult viewers who complained about his forecasts. We have a good life, Mal. Why rock the boat? Because it's my life too. The words burst out before I could stop them. And I'm tired of. Hold on, he interrupted. Vanessa's showing Olivia something about social media presence. We'll talk later, okay? Love you. He hung up before I could respond. Through the glass, I saw Sam end his fake call and return. Well, he said, sitting down. That was illuminating. I nodded, my hand steady as I pulled out my checkbook. I need to know everything. Their meetings, their plans, especially anything involving my daughter. Mrs. Green. Sam leaned forward. Are you sure you want to open this door? Some things, once known, can't be unknown. My phone buzzed again, another photo from Olivia. This time, she was trying on what looked like Vanessa's designer blazer, beaming at the camera while Grant and Vanessa stood close behind her. His hand now definitely on Vanessa's waist. I've spent 26 years being the perfect weatherman's wife, I said, writing the check. It's time to create a storm of my own. Sam took the check, his expression unreadable. First rule of investigation, follow the money. Second rule, watch the patterns. He tapped the photo on my phone. Your husband's not just having an affair, Mrs. Green. He's building something. And he's using your daughter to do it. 3 days after meeting Sam Porter, I found myself sitting in my car outside the station, watching Grant's BMW pull into his reserved parking spot. It was 6 a.m., too early for anyone but the morning news crew to be here. Anyone except Vanessa Bryant, whose sleek Audi was already waiting. My phone buzzed. A text from Sam. Check your email. Found something interesting in their financial records. I opened the attachment, screenshots of expense reports and calendar entries. Lunch meetings, marketing consultations, business dinners. All legitimate on paper. But the timestamps told a different story. Late-night strategy sessions that coincided with Grant's emergency weather updates. Weekend workshops when he'd told me he was meeting sponsors. Another text from Sam. Watch your 6. Target incoming. I glanced in my rearview mirror just as Olivia's car pulled into the lot. My daughter, arriving at the station before her morning classes, just like she had every day this week. She'd called it career shadowing. Now I wondered what else she was being shadowed by. My phone rang, Ethan. Mom, he said without preamble. Why didn't you tell me about Dad? How did you? I have alerts set up for anything involving the station. Dad's being considered for a regional weather position, with Vanessa Bryant as his manager. My hands gripped the steering wheel. Through the station's glass doors, I could see Grant greeting Olivia with a hug. Vanessa stood nearby, her red lips curved in a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "There's more," Ethan continued. "They're launching a social media campaign. The Next Generation of Weather. Starring Dad and—" He paused. "And Olivia." The pieces clicked into place. Grant's sudden interest in Olivia's career. Vanessa's mentorship. The constant photos, the carefully crafted posts about family legacy and following dreams. "They're using her," I whispered, "building their brand on my daughter's back." "Mom?" Ethan's voice softened. "Come to my office. There's something you need to see." 20 minutes later, I sat in Ethan's startup headquarters, staring at his computer screen. Social media mock-ups, campaign drafts, promotional materials, all featuring Grant and Olivia as the perfect father-daughter weather team. And in every document, a note about phase-out strategies for outdated elements. "That's me," I said numbly. "I'm the outdated element." Ethan nodded grimly. Vanessa's specialty is image rehabilitation through generational transition. She's done this before, helped aging local celebrities reinvent themselves by partnering with their children. "The older spouse always gets." He trailed off. "Erased," I finished. My phone chimed with Instagram notifications. Olivia had posted new stories, her first official segment with Grant, practicing in front of the green screen. Vanessa directing from behind the camera. The caption read, "Dreams really do come true. Thanks Dad and Vanessa for believing in me. Red heart." I clicked through to Vanessa's profile. There, buried in her highlights, was a folder labeled Success Stories. Photo after photo of smiling families, careers transformed. And in the background, discarded spouses who'd been neatly removed from the narrative. "Mom?" Ethan touched my arm. "What are you going to do?" I thought about the handkerchief, still in my purse. About 26 years of supporting Grant's dreams while mine gathered dust. About my daughter, being groomed to continue a legacy built on lies. "I'm going to save Olivia," I said, standing up. "And then I'm going to burn it all down." My phone buzzed again. Sam Porter, found the smoking gun. "Meeting at noon?" I typed back, "Make it 11. And bring everything." As I left Ethan's office, I caught my reflection in the window. For the first time since this started, I didn't see hurt in my eyes. I saw purpose. Grant and Vanessa thought they could write me out of the story. They were about to learn that every storm has an eye, and they were standing in mine. Sam Porter's smoking gun turned out to be a laptop. Not just any laptop, Vanessa's personal computer, borrowed by an intern who owed Sam a favor. As I sat in Ethan's office watching him decrypt the files, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Got it," Ethan muttered, fingers flying across his keyboard. "Mom, you need to see this." The first email appeared on screen, from Vanessa to Grant, dated 6 months ago, "Found the perfect angle for your transition. Your daughter's exactly what we need, young, photogenic, already has the family connection. The board will eat it up. P.S. Your wife's volunteer work at the animal shelter could be problematic for our image. Thoughts?" Grant's response made my stomach turn. "Handle it like the others. Mallory will understand. She always does." More emails filled the screen, each one a carefully orchestrated step in their plan. Marketing strategies, social media campaigns, even a draft contract for a regional morning show, The Green Family Forecast, starring Grant and Olivia. My phone buzzed, Olivia calling. I let it go to voicemail. "There's something else," Ethan said quietly, opening another folder. "Financial records. Dad's been moving money around, setting up accounts in his and Olivia's names." "What about the house?" My voice sounded distant, even to myself. "Our savings." Ethan's silence was answer enough. A knock at the office door made us both jump. Sam Porter entered, holding a manila envelope. "Mrs. Green, we have a situation. The station's announcing the new show tomorrow morning. They're going live with it." "Tomorrow." Ethan stood up. "That's weeks ahead of schedule. Because of this." Sam handed me his phone. On screen was a local news blog, running a story about Grant Greene's wife volunteering at kill shelters, complete with twisted statistics and misleading quotes. The comment section was already filling with outrage. "They're getting ahead of any potential scandal," Sam explained, painting you as the unstable animal rights activist before launching their family-friendly show. Classic character assassination. My phone buzzed again, Grant this time. I answered on speaker. "Mal, have you seen the article?" His voice was concerned, practiced. "Don't worry, Vanessa's handling it. But maybe lay low on the shelter work for a while? For Olivia's sake." I caught Ethan's eye. He nodded slightly, recording the call. "Of course," I said smoothly. "Anything for our daughter's future." "That's my girl." "Oh, and we're having a small celebration dinner tonight at LeBlanc. Just family. You'll come, right?" After I hung up, Sam leaned forward. "It's a power play. They're expecting you to make a scene, prove their narrative right. Then I'll do the opposite." I stood up, surprising myself with how steady I felt. "Ethan, can you get into the station system?" He grinned. "Already have." "Why?" "Because tomorrow's weather forecast is about to change dramatically." I turned to Sam. "How fast can you get those financial records to every board member?" "Give me an hour." I pulled out my phone, scrolling to the photo Olivia had posted of herself in Vanessa's blazer. "One more thing. Ethan, remember when we visited that animal sanctuary last month? The one with the security cameras. The day Dad said he was at a sponsor meeting?" Ethan's eyes widened. "The sanctuary right next to LeBlanc?" I nodded. "Check their footage from that afternoon. I have a feeling we'll find our own perfect angle." As Ethan worked, I finally listened to Olivia's voicemail. "Mom, I know things have been weird lately, but tonight's really important to Dad and Vanessa. Please don't mess it up. For once, can you just fit in?" I looked at the evidence spread across Ethan's desk, the emails, the financial records, the carefully constructed plan to erase me from my own family story. Then I opened my camera roll to a photo I'd taken that morning, my acceptance letter to veterinary school, 26 years delayed, but finally real. "Oh, I'll fit in," I whispered, sending the dinner confirmation to Grant. One last time. LeBlanc hadn't changed in 26 years. Same soft lighting, same white tablecloths, same quiet corner table where Grant had proposed. Now I sat there watching my husband pour wine for Vanessa while Olivia filmed it all for her Instagram stories. Perfect lighting, Vanessa purred, adjusting Olivia's phone angle. "Your followers will love this family moment." I took a slow sip of water, feeling the weight of Sam Porter's USB drive in my clutch. Across town, Ethan was preparing to send emails to the station's board members, timed perfectly with tomorrow's announcement. "Mom, you're being so quiet," Olivia said, finally lowering her phone. "Aren't you excited about the show?" Before I could answer, Grant's hand covered mine on the table. "Actually, we wanted to discuss something with you, Mal. About the house." "The house?" I kept my voice steady, though I already knew what was coming. "We're thinking of selling," Vanessa cut in smoothly. "The show will require a lot of travel, and we've found the perfect place closer to the station. Plenty of room for Olivia when she's home from college." The word hung in the air like frost. Grant squeezed my hand harder. "It's a family decision, of course. But with your interests taking you in a different direction." My phone buzzed, a text from Sam. Sanctuary footage confirmed. They were there every Tuesday for months. Board members' emails ready. Different direction? I pulled my hand away. "You mean my acceptance to veterinary school?" Olivia's head snapped up. "What?" "Mom, you can't be serious." "What about the show? What about our family?" "Our family?" I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. She was wearing Vanessa's blazer again, her makeup done in the same style. "Honey, do you know where that blazer came from?" "Vanessa gave it to me." "It's Gucci." Olivia beamed at the other woman. "She says image is everything in this business." "It's from the cruise collection," Vanessa added. "I bought it for a special dinner at LeBlanc 6 months ago." I pulled out my phone, opening the sanctuary's security footage. "You mean this dinner?" The video played silently on my screen, Grant and Vanessa entering the sanctuary's parking lot, emerging hours later disheveled and laughing. The timestamp matched perfectly with the day he'd claimed to be meeting sponsors. "Mom, stop it," Olivia whispered, but her eyes were glued to the screen. "That's not all." I placed the USB drive on the table. "Would you like to know what else your father and Vanessa have been planning? About your future? About our savings?" Grant's face hardened. "Mallory, think very carefully about what you're doing." "I have." I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. For 26 years, I've thought carefully about everything I've done. Supporting your career, raising our children, putting my dreams on hold. But you know what I never thought about? I turned to Olivia. How it would feel to watch my daughter be groomed to replace me. "That's ridiculous," Vanessa started, but I cut her off. "Show her the contract then. Show her Clause 23B about family image maintenance. Show her how you plan to use her to push me out." Olivia's hand shook as she reached for the USB drive. "Dad?" Grant stood up, his media smile firmly in place. "Sweetheart, your mother is just feeling threatened by change. We can discuss this at home." "Home?" I laughed. "The one you're selling out from under me? Or the new one you've already bought with Vanessa?" The restaurant had gone quiet, phones discreetly recording the Weatherman's family drama. Vanessa was already typing something on her phone, probably trying to control the narrative. "Olivia," I said softly, "check your email in 5 minutes. Everything's there, the plans, the contracts, the footage. Then decide who's really looking out for your future." I turned to leave, but Grant grabbed my arm. "You'll regret this, Mal. Everything we've built." "No," I pulled away. "Everything I helped you build. And now I'm forecasting a storm you won't be able to charm your way out of." As I walked out of LeBlanc, I heard Olivia's voice crack. "Dad, what's Clause 23B? The thunder was about to break. The annual Weather Watchers Charity Gala was in full swing when I arrived. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead as local celebrities mingled with station executives, all pretending they hadn't seen the viral video of my confrontation at LeBlanc 3 days ago. Ethan appeared at my elbow, tablet in hand. "Everything's ready. Sam's got the AV team on standby." I nodded, watching Grant work the room. He was wearing his favorite navy suit, the one I'd bought him last Christmas. Vanessa stood nearby in a red dress, orchestrating photo ops with sponsors. No sign of Olivia. "She's not coming," Ethan said quietly, reading my mind. "She's been holed up in her dorm room since she read the emails." My phone buzzed, a text from my daughter. "How could you humiliate him like this? You're destroying everything." "Ladies and gentlemen." The station manager took the stage. "Please welcome our man of the hour, Grant Green, to share some exciting news." Applause filled the ballroom as Grant stepped up to the microphone, his trademark smile firmly in place. "Thank you all for coming tonight. As many of family has always been at the heart of everything I do." I felt the weight of the remote control in my clutch. One button would trigger Sam's presentation, exposing everything: the affair, the financial fraud, the manipulation of Olivia. But suddenly, the victory felt hollow. "Mom?" Ethan touched my arm. "It's now or never," Grant continued, his voice carrying across the room. "Which is why I'm both honored and heartbroken to announce that this will be my last season with Channel 8. The crowd murmured. This wasn't part of the script. Recent events have made me realize what truly matters. Grant's eyes found mine in the crowd. I've lost sight of that. In pursuing success, I've hurt the people I love most. My wife, Mallory, who sacrificed everything for my dreams. My daughter, Olivia, who I selfishly tried to mold in my image. And my son, Ethan, who saw through me long before anyone else did." Vanessa stepped forward, her face tight with barely controlled panic. "Grant, perhaps we should." "No." He held up a hand. "No more managing the narrative, Vanessa. No more image consultation. No more lies." He turned back to the crowd. "The truth is, I've been having an affair. I've embezzled station funds. And I've manipulated my own daughter for publicity. I don't deserve your applause or your trust." The ballroom erupted in chaos. Phones emerged, recording everything. Station executives huddled in corners, whispering urgently. Vanessa disappeared through a side door. Mallory, Grant spoke directly to me now. I know you came here tonight to expose me. You have every right. But you taught our children something I never could, that integrity matters more than image. That real strength isn't about controlling the narrative, it's about owning your truth. My finger hovered over the remote. All the evidence, all the pain, all the betrayal, I could still destroy him completely. Mom, Ethan whispered, what do you want to do? Before I could answer, the ballroom doors burst open. Olivia stood there, still wearing Vanessa's blazer, but now it looked less like armor and more like a costume she'd outgrown. Is it true? She demanded, walking straight to Grant. About the contract? About using me to push Mom out? Grant nodded, his media smile finally cracking. Yes! Olivia turned to me, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't know. I didn't want to know. I dropped the remote into my clutch, suddenly understanding something I'd missed in my quest for revenge. This wasn't about destroying Grant, it was about saving our daughter from becoming what he'd created. Let's go home, I said softly, reaching for Olivia's hand. But the evidence, Ethan started. Keep it, I cut him off. Some storms need to blow themselves out. As we walked out, I heard Grant's voice one last time. This is Grant Green, signing off for the last time. Tomorrow's forecast, long overdue changes, with a chance of redemption. Behind us, the gala dissolved into chaos. But for the first time in months, I felt the weight lift from my shoulders. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone else's life, it's about reclaiming your own. The morning after the gala, I found Grant sitting in our kitchen, staring at a cup of cold coffee. He looked older somehow, stripped of his camera-ready confidence. The local news played silently on his phone, headlines about his confession, his resignation, the pending investigation. Vanessa's gone, he said without looking up. Took a job in Seattle last night. Apparently, she had a backup plan. She always did. I started packing boxes, methodically wrapping 26 years of married life in newspaper. The station called. They want to interview me. Of course they do. He finally met my eyes. The weatherman's wronged wife. Perfect ratings grab. I turned them down. I carefully placed our wedding photo in a box. Some storms shouldn't be broadcast. The doorbell rang. Olivia stood there, holding a garbage bag full of clothes. She'd stripped off Vanessa's designer pieces, replacing them with her old college sweats. The blazers at Goodwill, she said quietly, along with everything else she gave me. Grant stood up. Sweetheart, about the contract. Don't. Olivia's voice cracked. I read it all last night. Every clause, every condition. You were going to make me choose between my career and Mom. I was trying to protect you, Grant started, but Olivia cut him off. No, you were trying to protect yourself. Mom was right, I was just another prop in your forecast. The kitchen fell silent except for the sound of packing tape and crumpling newspaper. Ethan arrived with more boxes, Sam Porter following with documents in hand. The station's lawyers want to talk settlement, Sam said, laying out papers on the counter. They're offering to keep things quiet if you both sign. Grant reached for a pen, but I placed my hand over his. No more quiet. No more managing the narrative. Mal, please. His voice softened to that familiar, persuasive tone. We can still salvage something. The house, our savings. You mean the savings you moved? Ethan pulled out his tablet, showing bank statements. Or the house you already put a deposit on with Vanessa? Grant's shoulders slumped. I never meant. Yes, you did. I kept my voice steady. You meant every word, every plan, every manipulation. The only difference is now you have to own it. Olivia started unpacking her garbage bag, laying out pieces of her childhood, old report cards, dance recitals, family photos. Remember this? She held up a picture from her 5th birthday. Mom spent weeks planning that weather-themed party. She even made a cake shaped like your green screen. She always supported your dreams, Ethan added. Both of ours. What did you ever support of hers? Grant stared at the birthday photo, then at the vet school acceptance letter I'd pinned to the fridge. I was scared, he whispered. Getting older, losing relevance. Vanessa made me feel like I could stay in control. Control was always your forecast, I said, sealing another box. But you forgot about the human element. The part that can't be predicted or managed. What happens now? Olivia asked, looking between us. I handed Grant the divorce papers Sam had prepared. Now we tell the truth. All of it. To the station, to their lawyers, to everyone. No settlements, no cover-ups. It'll destroy what's left of my career, Grant said. Maybe. I met his eyes. But it might save what's left of your relationship with our children. He signed the papers without another word. As Sam gathered them, Olivia picked up a box of her childhood memories. I'm staying with Mom, she announced. And I'm changing my major to veterinary science. Grant nodded, understanding the weight of what he'd lost. As he headed for the door, he turned back one last time. I really did love you, Mal. I know. I handed him his favorite coffee mug, wrapped in newspaper. But love without respect is just another kind of weather, all show, no substance. The door closed behind him, and for the first time in 26 years, I felt the sun break through the clouds. 1 year later, I stood in front of Second Chance's animal clinic, watching Olivia attach the grand opening banner. The morning sun caught the gold lettering, Dr. Mallory Green, veterinarian owner. Mom, Olivia called down from the ladder. Channel 8's here for the interview. I smiled, remembering how different things had been a year ago. The scandal had faded as scandals do. Grant had moved to Seattle, following Vanessa's path but finding her already gone. Last I heard, he was doing weather for a small radio station, learning to live without an audience. The reporter wasn't from Channel 8's main team, just a fresh-faced kid with a camera phone and a local news blog. Dr. Green, what inspired you to open this clinic? Before I could answer, a familiar voice cut in. Mind if I tell that story? Vanessa Bryant stood at the clinic's entrance, thinner than I remembered, her designer clothes replaced by practical business wear. The reporter's eyes widened, sensing a bigger story. It's okay, I said quietly. Come in. Inside, Ethan was setting up the computer systems while Sam Porter played with the shelter dogs we'd be working with. They both tensed at Vanessa's appearance, but I waved them off. Seattle didn't work out? I asked, leading her to my office. Nothing worked out. Vanessa sat heavily in the client chair. Turns out reputation management isn't worth much when your own reputation is destroyed. I thought of the handkerchief that had started it all, still tucked away in my desk drawer. Why are you here? Because you did something I never could. She met my eyes. You chose truth over image. Real life over the perfect story. I've spent my career teaching people to fake it, and you just lived it. Olivia appeared in the doorway, freezing when she saw Vanessa. The blazer incident hung between them like static before a storm. I have your clothes, Olivia said stiffly. The ones I didn't give to Goodwill. I can bring them. Keep them. Vanessa smiled sadly. Or better yet, sell them. Use the money for the clinic. The reporter hovered outside, filming through the window. One post from him, and Vanessa's attempted redemption would become another viral moment. I closed the blinds. You know what the hardest part was? I said, turning back to Vanessa. Not the affair, not the betrayal. It was watching my daughter try to become someone else's version of perfect. I'm sorry, Vanessa whispered, looking at Olivia. For all of it. Olivia straightened, suddenly looking more like herself than she had in months. I'm not anymore. Everything that happened. It showed me who I really want to be. A commotion from the front drew our attention. Sam was wrestling with an excited pit bull while Ethan tried to coordinate the shelter volunteers. Real life, messy and imperfect, spilling through my carefully organized clinic. We're about to open, I said to Vanessa. You can stay if you want. We could use help with social media, marketing the adoption events. But this time, we tell true stories. Vanessa stood, smoothing her practical skirt. I'd like that. If you're sure. Mom? Olivia touched my arm. The reporter's still waiting. I looked around my clinic at my daughter finding her own path, my son protecting our fresh start, Sam Porter becoming family, and even Vanessa seeking her own second chance. The revenge I'd sought had transformed into something else, redemption, not just for me, but for everyone caught in the storm. "Tell him to come in," I said. "But first." I pulled the handkerchief from my desk, holding it out to Vanessa. She stared at it, recognition flickering in her eyes. "Some stains don't wash out," I said quietly, "but they can remind us where we've been and why we chose to change direction." Vanessa took the handkerchief, then surprised me by tearing it in half. "New forecast." I nodded, watching Olivia welcome the first shelter dog into our clinic. Clear skies ahead, with a chance of healing.